his real name is Jeff, and him and his family was moving to a different house. Their new neighbors came up to them, and the son's mom asked if they want to go to her son's birthday party. Of course, Jeff didn't want to because he wasn't a little kid, but his mom forced him to, said it would be fun. But he just went to his new room and dealt with it. Anyways, the next day, him and his brother had school, and they got ready the morning. They were heading to the bus, and these bullies were riding their skateboard, and the bullies jumped over their heads with the skateboards, and Jeff got really mad. So him and his brother and one of the boys started beating up Jeff, and Jeff got his knife out, and Jeff stabbed the bully, and then they ran onto the bus and went to school. When they got home, their parents were standing in front of the doorway, and the police were also there too. They said, "Jeff, why did you do it? Why did you stab the kid?" And Jeff said, "Because he was beating me up." And then they told Jeff he was under arrest, and Jeff yelled, "But he was beating me up. Why would I get arrested for this when it was his fault?" Then Jeff's brother stepped in front of him and said, "No, I didn't." Then Jeff yelled, "No, I did it. Why are you lying? I'm the one that stabbed the kid." And Jeff's brother said, No, I did it." And the police officer said, "Okay, well, let's take you to jail." And then the police and his brother left. Jeff ran to his room in tears. Jeff was super mad at the bullies and his brother for lying. And now his brother is in jail for something he didn't even do that was Jeff's fault. And Jeff said, well, the bully deserved it. He shouldn't have done that. A few days later, it's time for the birthday party, his mom said. And her and Jeff got in an argument. At the end, she said, "Get ready, you're going." When he was done, and they went. At the birthday party, he was bored. If Jeff was sitting outside at the birthday party, the adults were inside, and the birthday boy said, "Do you want a cowboy hat and a toy gun?" said the boy. And Jeff said, "No, I don't play little kid games." After the little boy asking again and again, and Jeff finally said, "Yes, I'll play with y'all." He played with them and starting to have a little bit of fun, but then the bullies jumped over the fence, and they had guns on them this time. Jeff said, "What the heck? Why do y'all have guns? And can y'all just leave me alone?" And the boys said, "No, and now you are gonna die." Jeff screamed. The other bullies got knocked out, and there was one more left. Jeff and him ran inside. They ran inside, up the stairs, and into the bathroom. And Jeff accidentally poured some gasoline on him. And then the bully got out a lighter and then caught Jeff on fire, and Jeff fell down the stairs. And Jeff woke up in the hospital. He asked what happened. The doctor said his face got burnt off because of that bully. Jeff said, "Well, can I look in the mirror?" The doctor said, "Sure." Jeff's parents went in the room with him and screamed. Later that day, Jeff and his parents went home. And while his parents were in, Jeff went in the kitchen and grabbed a knife and then went to the bathroom and cut his face. Then went in his parents' room with the knife and said, "Do I look pretty?" And his mom said, "Yeah, you do look pretty." And then whispered to Jeff's dad to grab the gun, as he did. And Jeff said you lied before his dad grabbed the gun and then killed his parents. But also that day, his brother got to go home. Then he went in his brother's room and got on his brother's bed and said, "Go to sleep." And then Jeff killed his brother, and then he ran away. And he's been killing people ever since. Good luck sleeping. Slenderman really doesn't have much of a story, but there's a little bit to know about him. Well, he's always been faceless, wearing a tuxedo, And he does have a story, though. Want to hear it? Well, and he had a daughter that kind of looked like him. One day, she ran out in the road and died, and ever since that happened, he kept drawings and hid them around the forest, and he kidnapped children and scares people in the woods and sometimes kills them. So watch out for him every time you go in the woods. Be careful. The rake is a humanoid creature that nobody wants to see. And I'm going to tell you one of the stories about him. A wife and her husband and her kids were heading home at night for a long day. They were all tired and was ready to get home and get some rest. Well, that night she heard some walking and thought it was her husband, so she woke her husband up. And then he looked in front of them and quietly grabbed his wife. She was trying to adjust to the dark, and then she saw what he saw. She wasn't very scared at first, but was more concerned of the position he was in. It was like it was ran over or something, but it was unnatural, and she really didn't know if it needed help or not. So then it ran down the hall, and they ran after it because of their children. She saw him covered in blood, and then she turned the light on. The last word their daughter said was, "He is the rake." That night, her husband ran into a lake driving. He was rushing to the hospital with their daughter, Clara, and they both didn't survive. After that, she hasn't seen him since the rake ruined her life. But she had an idea. Well, her son suggested that they would go to a grandparent's house or a hotel to stay in. But they got back a while later, and she decided to have some tapes recording while she was sleeping, hear if she heard anything weird, for 2 weeks. And she heard nothing out of them, but the third week, she heard something weird. It was him talking, the rake, of what he said when he was in her husband's face. Ever since that, it has been very hard to sleep, not knowing what she could wake up to, and she's forever scared to go to sleep. Well, have good luck sleeping, and always watch out. Eyeless Jack is a creepypasta. People claim he is a demonic entity from another world, and he eats human organs to survive. So you better watch out for him. Don't want him to eat your organs. The Sandman is a creepy man that puts sand in children's eyes to help them sleep more, and then steals their eyes and carries them around in a bag. It is something that you do not want to see ever in your life. And be careful, because he might be in your room hovering over you tonight, planning to sprinkle sand in your eyes and then steal them. Good luck.